Let's talk about a revolution, not one with barricades in the streets, but one that's happening right in the palm of your hand, on your screen, right now. It's a new media revolution, and it has absolutely reshaped our world, how we connect, how we learn, and really how we live. So yeah, let's get into it. Think back for a second. Do you remember when information was on a schedule? You had to actually wait for the morning paper to land on your doorstep or gather around the TV for the 6 o'clock news. It was this shared ritual, something everyone did at the same time. Well, that world, it's pretty much gone. Now information doesn't have a schedule. It's a constant, never-ending stream, and it's waiting for us whenever and wherever we want it. The media landscape hasn't just been tweaked, it's been torn down and rebuilt from the ground up. Okay, so to really get a handle on just how massive this shift is, let's put the old and new side by side. Honestly, it's like comparing two completely different planets. What you're looking at here is a fundamental power shift. Old, traditional media was basically a monologue. It was a one-way street, coming from a few powerful sources down to the masses. New media, it's a dialogue. It's a sprawling, sometimes chaotic conversation where pretty much anyone can jump in. Those huge barriers to getting your voice heard have just crumbled away. But here's the thing, the biggest change, the real heart of the revolution, it's not actually the technology. It's us, the audience. We've gone from being passive spectators in the bleachers to being players on the field, actively shaping the game. And this is where you really feel that power of personalization, right? Think about your streaming services, the content they recommend just for you. We can dive into any interest, no matter how specific or niche it is. The whole idea of one-size-fits-all media just feels ancient now. Which brings us to this huge idea, user-generated content, or UGC. We're talking everything from blogs and podcasts to viral TikToks and YouTube tutorials. We're not just consuming media anymore, we are the ones creating it. That line between who's a producer and who's a consumer, it's gotten incredibly blurry. But, and there's always a but, isn't there? This incredible personalization comes with a serious risk. When the algorithms only show us content that they know we'll agree with, we can get trapped in what's called an echo chamber. It's a space where our own beliefs are just reflected back at us over and over without ever being challenged. And that forces us to ask a really important question about our own lives. Is the feed you scroll through every day a window that shows you the wider world? Or has it become a mirror, just showing you a reflection of yourself? So many of these platforms we use all day, every day, they seem free, right? But there's a hidden cost. There's this unseen transaction happening with every single scroll, every click, every share. The name for this business model is surveillance capitalism. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but it's crucial. It describes a whole new kind of economy where the most valuable resource isn't a physical product, but our personal data, our attention, our clicks, our lives. So how does your data actually become profit? Well, it's a pretty simple cycle when you break it down. First, we share our information, willingly or not. Then, the companies collect it all. Every last bit. They package it up and sell access to it. And that's the monetization part. Finally, advertisers use that data to target us with ads that feel almost creepily specific. And this whole data-driven model is starting to raise some really big red flags. We're talking about the erosion of our privacy, a total lack of transparency about how our data is being used, and the very real potential for this to be used for political manipulation. It's a brand new territory, and governments and regulators are struggling to keep up. All of this leads us to the biggest question of all. In this brave new digital world, who is really in control? Who's pulling the strings? And nowhere is this question of power more obvious than in politics. New media has completely changed the game. Online campaigns can mobilize thousands of people in an instant. Citizen journalists on the ground can hold powerful people accountable. And, on the other hand, micro-targeted messaging allows political campaigns to whisper different things to different voters with surgical precision. What's really fascinating is that these old-school theories about how media influences us are more relevant today than ever. They're basically supercharged now. Agenda setting, the idea that media tells us what to think about, that's now driven by viral trends and algorithms. And cultivation theory, The idea that seeing the same message over and over shapes your view of reality, well, what could be a better example of that than our personalized echo chambers?
So we'll end with a challenge for you to think about. This new media revolution has given us incredible power, an incredible voice. But in this world of infinite content, of invisible algorithms, you have to ask yourself, are you the one shaping your reality? Or is your reality being quietly shaped for you?